So what if I told you that a 2,400-year-old secret could totally change the way you communicate, like starting right now? In this explainer, we're going to unpack a timeless mental model from Socrates himself, one that's designed to be a simple, powerful filter for our modern, super noisy world.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You hear a juicy piece of gossip or you see some bit of news that hasn't been verified, and that urge to pass it on is, well, it's almost overwhelming. It's just a natural reaction in this world where we're all connected 24/7.
But what if there was a little checklist for our words? You know, a simple test we could run before we hit send or share. Well, it turns out an ancient philosopher came up with one, and its real genius is in just how simple it is.
Okay, so let's jump back in time to ancient Greece. Picture this. A man is rushing up to the great philosopher Socrates. He's out of breath and he's just bursting with what he thinks is super urgent news about one of Socrates' friends.
But before the guy can even blurt it out, Socrates just holds up a hand. He says, "Hold on." He suggests that before these words come out, they need to be sifted first. They have to pass through a filter to see if they're even worth hearing. And this framework, this is what Socrates called the three sieves. It's just a series of three questions, three really simple but actually really profound tests that any piece of information should have to pass before we share it. So what are they? Truth, goodness, and usefulness. That's it. Let's see how Socrates puts them to work, starting with the first and, the most fundamental one, the sieve of truth. Socrates kicks things off with a really direct question. And notice that keyword, absolutely. He's not asking if the man thinks it's true or if he heard it might be true. The standard here is verifiable, absolute certainty. And the man kind of shuffles his feet and admits, well, no, I actually just heard it from someone else. And bam, right there, the information fails. It's not a verifiable fact, it's just secondhand hearsay. It can't get through that first sieve of truth. Now, even though the story has already failed, Socrates goes on to the second sieve. This one isn't about facts at all, it's about intent. He asks, okay, so this story about my friend, is it something good? The man has to admit, no, actually, it's quite the opposite. And the story fails again. See, the sieve of goodness is there to filter out all that needless negativity. It's asking for our words to be, at the very least, kind or maybe constructive. All right, the final test is about pure practicality. Socrates asks, is there any point to this? Is it going to be useful for me to know this information? This really questions whether the info has any actual value for the person who's about to hear it. And for a third and final time, the man has to confess, no, not really. The information is just idle chatter. It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't solve a problem. It serves absolutely no purpose. The story has now spectacularly failed all three tests. So, after running this supposedly urgent piece of news through this simple three-part filter, what's the final verdict? What's the score? So, how did the man's urgent story actually stack up against those three powerful questions? Well, the result is a complete and total wipeout. A perfect zero. Nothing. The information wasn't true, it wasn't good, and it wasn't useful. It just completely fell apart under the tiniest bit of thoughtful pressure. And this leads us to Socrates' timeless, logical, and frankly brilliant conclusion, a question we should probably all be asking ourselves way more often. If what you're about to say is not true, not good, and not even useful, why say it at all? Now, that question was asked in ancient Greece, but wow, does it feel more urgent today than ever before? So, how do we actually apply this ancient filter to our own hyper-connected, info-overloaded lives? Just think about it. Before you forward that chain email, before you post that shocking headline, before you drop a rumor in the group chat or pass on some office gossip, just pause, just for a second, and run it through the three sieves. Is it true? Is it good? Is it useful? Look, the three sieves is so much more than a story. It's a really practical tool, a mental model for mindful communication. This isn't about censorship or never saying anything critical. It's about choosing to be thoughtful. It's a filter to make sure our words are kind, our information is necessary, and our communication has a purpose.
And that's really the challenge this whole idea leaves us with, isn't it? The next time you're about to speak or to post or to share, just pause. Take that one extra second and ask yourself, is it true? Is it good? Is it useful? Will your words pass the test?